guys? It's your boy TG, and yeah, bring it from the bottom. You're locked into another edition of Goode Gotcha Entertainment. In the house, look, I'm gonna let you get in a little bit, but we have former Super Bowl champion from the New Orleans Saints, Robert Meachem. He's joining us in tonight. Look, last week, I don't know, folks. It was just, I think it was the devil, if you want to claim it that. But he didn't want to let us have our joy. So I will tell you this, folks. We are here, and we are going to jump right into it. Meach, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. How you doing?
Man, I am doing great. Look, it's been a fantastic day. A little chilly here on the East Coast. Kind of like the weather's been, as you know, bipolar here in the state of Virginia.
Well,
But
yeah, it's Who That Thursday, so we're getting ready for this Thursday night massacre. We about to, put on this Jaguars tonight.
oh man, look, those Jaguars, they are something else, and the Saints are too. But you guys had a few injuries linger here or there, and some other things. But look, we'll get into another thing. I'm not even going to throw it to you, Saints, like that. I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to ask you later who you got. But let's get right into it. So first off, Meach, thank you for coming on, and I know you got a busy schedule doing other stuff, but thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
But look,
having me.
we get right into it. Many viewers were like hitting my skill last week, like, y'all not on? I'm like, I don't know. Think about it. Maybe next week. But look, I got to hit you with two shockers on the first thing because you was a champion through your whole entire career. Even to being almost in like AAU, and you was a national basketball champion. Like, you think about it. Like,
I mean,
like winning in AAU. And then look, we'll go straight into that. You went to Booker T. Washington, correct?
correct.
So look, I gotta jump into that. You went back-to-back titles, and it
hmm
was being a point guard. Look, I didn't look. I had a few clips that I wanted to bring in, but I didn't want to even do you like that. You were a high flyer, man. I mean, I saw some clips. I'm just like, is that Beach? Like what? Like I didn't know that
Man,
was even like.
we should have had 4 championships in a row. Even when I was a freshman, we should
Wow.
have won. And then my senior year, um, we lost in the semifinals to some of our close friends. The referee had it out for me, so I had 4 fouls in the first quarter, but three of the fouls wasn't even me, but they gave them to me.
Oh man, look, I gotta ask this question. So, did you play basketball? Did you just like shift it over into football, or was it like a
Oh
I'm going
no,
back and forth between who I want, where I want to go?
oh no, basketball always been my first love. That's just I was Jay high. Um, I played football only because my friends played it, and I just happened to be
Which
good at it. That's all it was. I didn't really care about football because I think my dad didn't care about it like that. My dad used to say football was the dumbest sport in the world. Put on pads and let somebody hit you. So my thing was to make
it
them
look
miss.
it landed you a Super Bowl. We'll talk about that later. Like just to think about the route that you went and like, well, if you wouldn't have went basketball, I guarantee you would have been really great too. Because I mean, seeing some of those different highlights you had with I forgot the organization that captured it on YouTube, but I was just like, wow, I was stunned. I wanted to pull some up, but I was like, I didn't. I'll take that
Um,
another day. We'll do that
I
another conversation.
I think one of my old coaches, may rest in peace, Coach Harris. I think one of his sons, he has a website called Big Time Sports, and he posts clips of us because he has all the old tapes from, I'm thinking from 88 to now, 1988 to now, of all the players that used to play for his dad. So every now and again, he gets bored and start posting clips on Facebook.
Look, I think that's what happened. I think that's where I saw it at, and I was like, I couldn't get a true source, and I couldn't reach out to the individual. So I was like, I'll save it for another day because I was like, they'd be like, wait, who is that? But I'm like, I got Meach on the show, so where can I go wrong? It's him. Like nobody else could check it out but him. But no, Meach, just to let the viewers know, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and all across different major platforms. We got a lot coming in. Not only this week, we're announcing two major sponsors actually creeping into the airways. We got a gym sponsor coming up, and then we also have a StreamYard sponsor. They'll be named another day.
Congratulations, man. You deserve
But
it.
I have a look, and they're coming in to talk not today, but they'll come soon. But look, you went through college. I mean, went through high school, and then you
hmm
checked into the volunteer state. You went to the University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
And at the University of Tennessee, you arrived on the scene. You laced up with, look, Jason Swain. I'll say it correct today. I'll say it, the former Bear, Arian Foster, and other names alike that went to the pros and played. But can you run me through that memory, that time there being a collegiate level athlete? You were a big body receiver. You weren't no skinny, scrawny guy. Like I was like,
Well, I mean, my freshman year, I tore my meniscus, and I gained, that college 15 as they talk about. I went from like 180 to 220 overnight, seemed like. And then when Coach Cutcliffe came, he talked to me and Swain, told us we had to lose weight because we actually was roommates, and so Swain did all the cooking. So we lost a lot. We lost about 15 to 20 pounds over the summer, and the sky was the limit. You couldn't double none of us because if you doubled me, one of them, Swain or Brett, was going to be open. And then, having Arian Foster in the backfield, um, it's like we spread you out. Arian was going to always have positive yards. He never had negative yards his whole career. So we had a good squad. We should have did a little bit better than what I felt. We shouldn't have lost those 3 games we lost.
oh man, look, it always has to be the nail biters or those games that you just kind of scratch your head as you go throughout. Like we just had a little bit more time, we would have won that game.
Oh
But look,
yeah,
you lit it up. You were, I mean, a redshirt freshman, and then you built momentum and kept going and turning on the heat. Can
to
you
be
tell
honest,
me
was
like a
crazy. I had one good year, one good
oh,
year. I had like splashes of good routes and good games, and some scoring some touchdowns. But far as my last year, my redshirt junior year, that was my year.
there you go. Look, can you tell me like a fond memory or a play that you probably or a game that you played at the University of Tennessee that you like, man, I'll take that with me for the rest of my life.
I'm gonna say my first catch. My first catch was against UNLV actually, and my first catch was a touchdown. So I'll never forget that. I was like, this is just like high school. It ain't changed. And then I
Look,
realized how different it was from high school after that.
and look, those guys like trying to make a name for themselves. You're trying to get to the pros, and those defenders looking at you and lacing up across from you. They're like, I got to get this guy. Like, I got to get some tugs from him because I can't let him shine on me because
Well,
it might be some scouts in the stands.
well, I'm gonna say, and I had great defense backs that I went against at practice every day. And Jabari Greer, um, who else? Jonathan Hefney, Jonathan Wade, Inky Johnson. Now he's a motivational speaker because he got his arm paralyzed during the game, but he was a first round draft pick. But I'm gonna have to go with the corner who really made me elevate my game in one game was what is his last name? He went to Arkansas. Um, Chris Houston. Man, when I tell you, I went to block him one time and I slipped and he put me on my back, and it was just one of those things. Like, man, I ain't never got put on my back. Like, ain't no DB ever dumped me. And that was the first time I got dumped. So I was like, I had to go in the trick bag, bring out some more moves.
Change your life, as people would say, and that's with everything you do in life. But when you have those kind of players, and you're like, oh man, it's a wake up call. Like you're like, okay, that's not going to happen just for one time. Like Dion said, it's the lowest you will see me.
Yeah,
And
he got me. He got me. I took it for granted, and then after that play, I was like, for the next half, I'm gonna deal with you. You won't catch me slipping like that again. I didn't realize he was that strong. He wasn't a tall DB. He was fast and he was strong. And when I realized after the game, he benched about 400 pounds at the time. I'm like, man, I don't lift weights anyway, so I need to get in weight room, get my weight up.
look, you went through that 37 games. You started 15 of them. You hauled in 125 passes, and you were listed as one of the 6 players, which I don't know what the history books stand right now, to receive over 2,000 yards and 17 touchdowns in the volunteer history. And look, you went ahead and you got all SEC and All American selection, and then you crept into, well, I hate to say crept, but you cruised into
I
the
did.
NFL draft.
I
he
sure
said, he
did.
said
I sure did. When they told me late first, early second, I sure was like, you know what? Told my family, I'm like, listen, y'all better come to as many games y'all come to, because it's about to be over with. I'm
Look,
leaving.
I got some for you. I'm gonna share this video. You walk me through this once this video ends. Stand
Our
by.
team have made their selection. The commissioner. With the 27th pick in the 2007 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Robert Meachem, wide receiver, Tennessee.
Wow. Well, I said John Gruden. Wow. Sean Payton. Sean Payton, he likes offense. Wow. Firepower. They lost Joe Horn.
I understand that.
So look, Meacham, I gotta tell you this. So as you're flanked by family and friends in that room,
Mm-hmm.
and many other athletes you all are waiting across the country to hope that that name gets called, and you get the cash your ticket to go into the NFL draft, and then you're hearing your name in the first round, 20s, called by Roger Goodell, the commissioner. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting goosebumps just announcing it now. But can you walk us through that moment? What were you feeling?
I mean, it was a dream come true. It was a blessing. Um, just to see my mom and my dad's face after they called my name, because you know they call you first, so your parents, your family, your loved ones don't really know who you talking to. Because my phone had been ringing, but nobody knew who I was talking to. And I think one of my friends, he looked over and seen the way I smiled and was like, "That's we a saint." So they edited that part because he said it right before Roger said it, and my mom was just the look on her face to see that all her hard work, all the practices, all taking everybody home. She was a team mom, so to see all of her hard work pay off for me to go was like a dream come true. And
Wow,
then I
that's
got to
perfect.
laugh, and then I got to laugh with my dad because I'm like, for the most stupidest sport in the world, to you, guess what? Your son's a first round draft pick now. What you got to say about that? Because it was left
Look,
up to my dad, I'd have been a cowboy. You know, he wanted me to
oh
be he
man,
wanted
not
me.
the Cowboys.
No, not a cow, not the Dallas Cowboy, like a
Oh, okay.
professional cowboy.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
like
that's
horse and
way
rodeo.
overblown.
Yeah, like horse and rodeo. Yeah, that's what my daddy
Oh
wanted me to
my.
do.
Look, you might have been successful at that too. Look, only history would have wrote that for you. But look, I'm going to tell you this: as you collected that ticket to the NFL, you went through training camps, numerous of practices. The list go on. You waited for that glorious moment to be, as they call, "Welcome to the NFL," and you get the first touchdown pass, or not even that, your first completion. But look, I got to share this with you because we talked about this off site. And I didn't know if I could catch it or not, but I found this. Now you have to correct me if it's not the right one, but I believe it
Okay,
is. So
let's
let me
see.
know.
First down, Drew Brees waiting, drills it into the end zone. Meachem is there, touchdown. Robert Meachem with the touchdown and the first TD of the ball game, and the Saints add to their lead.
Reggie saved me from getting hit. He took Sean Taylor, and Sean Taylor took him, and I was open in the back of the end zone. Once again, first catch was for a touchdown, just like it was in college. So I'm thinking it's the same. It's ain't nothing new. Yeah,
Now,
right. I got a
playing
rude awakening in the NFL.
now with that first touchdown, catching it from Drew Brees. I mean, can you only take me through the moment that you look back behind you a little bit just to get a glimpse of potentially what the play's going on while you're running down the field? You can't see. I mean, the man's no taller than a shoe rack, and
Hmm.
but does he tell you anything in practice like, "Hey, just go down the field, I'll find you"?
Oh no, working with Drew after practice, Drew was a technician, so he would call a route, but it's like we would run the end of the route for him. So he would tell you to get in certain spots based off the play call, and then he would hit you. So we knew that when we was in certain coverages, all you gotta do is be in a certain hole, and being in that hole, we knew Drew could find us. Now we couldn't see him sometime, when a lineman stand up, he threw like through little gaps. but we knew where we needed to be to catch every ball from him. So that play right there, it was just called all go special actually, and Reggie actually crossed the line. He beat the linebacker so bad, and he crossed Sean's face, so Sean had to take him. It's just that I was in the back of the end zone in a hole. I didn't know Drew even saw me until the ball was coming at me. Because the play was to go to Reggie anyway.
And he got crashed. He got crashed, and that guy blew that coverage.
Yeah, I told him thank you. Welcome me to the league, baby. First catch, first touchdown.
Welcome to the league. So as you strode along in your career, you came across a lot of highlights. We replay moments that Drew Brees escaped from pressure. Hey, look, this is the play we talked about off the rip too, and I'm going to play this for you. Drew Brees tossed an interception to Kareem Moore, and you just stalked your prey like a lion in the desert, and you got you a tug for one, and you ripped the pigskin out. Watch.
Shocking the tight end. They pick up the blitz. Brees faking. Andre Carter missed him. Brees throws. It's up for grabs. Was it picked off? Kareem Moore's got the ball. It's an interception. And then it's taken away by Robert Meachem. Meachem goes in for a touchdown.
Look, Meachem, before you give me your response there, that right there alone, when I watched the play, I had to watch multiple times because I was like, where the hell is Meachem? And then after I see you stop and clog up the guy, I'm like, wait, he's robbing the bank? And then he goes and cashes the check at the bank. I'm like, what else does this guy do? I mean, run me through that play. What was going through your mind?
Well, actually, it was right before half, and on the sideline they kept saying we got to score because I think at the end of the first quarter we was just like our defense was struggling. They really couldn't stop him, and I saw the way when he picked the ball. I saw the way he was carrying. it, and I'm like, oh, I might can get this ball. And when I got close enough to him, I got between his blockers and was able to get the ball out. I'm like, the fastest person on the field is Devery Henderson, so ain't nobody else gonna catch me. And ran it in for a touchdown. But what's crazy about that is, when we was young, like when I was younger. In middle school and high school, I had plays similar to that because I actually played on defense. So I had plays similar to that.
I like it. You were a thief in the night and you cashed your bank, you cashed the money in the bank and you robbed the bank at the same time. Like you were like, here goes my check. And then, you're going to give me 200. Give me more than that. Give me the money. Give me some.
Give me the vault. I want the vault.
You did that.
And what was crazy is, also too, our defense at practice, even though you might catch a pass and you run like 10 yards down the field or you run to the end zone, they was always still swiping at the ball. So you still had to carry the ball right. So even when they got picks or they got a fumble or something in practice, they learned to carry the ball like us, high and tight. And I just seen the way Kareem was carrying the ball, and I'm like, if I can get to him, I might can get this ball. And then when I look back, I was like, okay, did they say he was down? Because his hand was on the ground, so I didn't know if they was going to consider him down.
Oh, man.
And so when I looked at Coach Payton and seen him have his hands up, I'm like, oh, we good. We Gucci. We in there. We got another tub.
Look, in the current day NFL, that may have been wrote down by contact with how soft the league has gotten. Because they were like, "Oh, he's down. He had his hand or elbow." They would have gave some.
We ain't gonna speak on that.
No, that'll be a whole nother day, a whole nother dollar.
Yeah, we can't speak on the new league.
No, it's a whole lot different from in just a few years, not even half a decade, not even less than that. The way it changed. I mean,
because we was playing back in. I think they changed it back in 2018, 2019. Well, back in the day, if your helmet popped off and you got the ball, you still could run with it. Now you automatically dead if your helmet come off. Like the play stops, it's dead.
Look, that's crazy. Look. I actually to break the news to everyone. Not only Meachem's coming on, but later down the line of interviews, and we'll figure it out and I'll tell you more. But I have a fullback named Mickey Fitzgerald. he's coming on. He played in the 80s when the face bar or face mask was even just one little strip. So he's from a Virginia Tech alum there, but I'm gonna get back into Meachem.
I know he think the game is soft now. I know he think the game is soft.
Look back in even his time or your time. You touch the quarterback, you can rough him up. I mean,
Man,
now you put a fingernail on him, you're getting sent home with a fine and probably some jail time. I mean, I'm just saying.
It's bad now. It's really bad. I feel sorry for like the defensive lineman. You know how sometimes the quarterback breaks the pocket and is about to run out of bounds, but then turns and drops his shoulder on you.
Yes.
Like, see, as a defender, you pulling up because you think he's gonna go out of bounds, or you thinking he's about to slide, and all of a sudden he drops his shoulder on you, and everybody in America like, ooh, now you mad. Now you trying to get him for the rest of the game. Yeah. Now you about to get a penalty because you want him. You want your lick back.
I know, right? Look. At least if you do catch him one good time, you might. I mean, unfortunately, put him out the game if you hit him the right way, because quarterbacks are not the toughest guys. Some of them are. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to take anything from some of the QBs.
You can't take nothing away from Lamar and Deshaun.
Oh no,
they different breeds. Jalen Hurts, they are different.
They definitely are. So look,
Jared Goff in Detroit, he is different. Like he's playing outstanding football right now.
He is. I like the guy from Buffalo, Josh Allen. He is.
Josh is different. He does stuff that you would tell your quarterback not to do. But if you told him that, you would take away from his game, and that's not fair to him.
Yeah,
that's what you drafted him to do. He just the problem is he just 6'5" or 6'6" doing it. That's the problem.
Yes, and that's scary enough. That man's the only one of the few QBs I see run down the field and go head first into an end zone and get almost robbed.
And have no problems with going head first. He like the contact sometime, I feel like.
I think so. Him and Patrick Mahomes, that man's a totally different beast too, because who plays in the preseason, Meach, just goes, well, I didn't see my hit yet, or I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it rough enough. Like, you're a different breed.
Well, because during the regular season, once you get that first hit, then you know how to adjust to the game. You know how to adjust to the rest of the season. And I understand where he's coming from, because at practice, you can't touch him. So all practice long, OTAs, training camp, he can't get touched. So even if you push him and he fall wrong, the offensive lineman about to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? So for him to play in the preseason game just to get tackled, once he get tackled, he going to know how he want to play the rest of the season. He going to understand why he got tackled that way by watching the film that he watches. And then, he try to get himself out of certain positions to get himself out of harm.
Yes, and Mahomes is just a freak of nature. That man, certain QBs, like you said, Lamar, you got all those guys, and to name just a few there, that's just a generational talent. Like not every QB is going to be that way. No, but if it did, the league would be totally different.
the AFC is loaded with quarterbacks.
Yes.
They have quarterbacks. Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you this question: who you like coming out of this year in general? Like, you got AFC and NFC. If you had to say right now, who would be your top dogs?
Ooh, that's a tough question right now, because it's still early. It's still a little early, but I don't know with that one right now.
Look, I'll give you some time to think about it. Maybe another day that we can come back. I don't even know. Look, I don't even know. And I do this every week, and I'm just like, hope my co-host never asks that question. But look, I still don't know. Look, Meach, I got an inside joke. I don't know where the hell my co-host is, because the dude went to Trinidad and his Giants lose every week. So I'm hoping that they win this week where he can come back. Somebody, viewers, please go find Camp. Return to sender. Pigeon carrier, mail, email. I don't even care if you go to your AOL. Shout out to AOL. I don't even care. But that guy still hasn't shown up. Camp, return to sender, please. Your Giants may not win this week against the Commanders, but But
Boy,
Meach, let's get back and look. You know how I go after my co-host. You'll see that as the show goes on. But look, throughout your career with the Saints, you did fantastic things. Do you got any memory or fond? We're going to get to the Super Bowl conversation, but any memory past not only ripping that ball out and recovering the fumble and going to the house, but you had like I think a 52-yard flea flicker situation. Now I know normally those are like blown coverage because all of your defense kind of crunches down and one guy's out the door. But you got a memory or something that you kind of like, man, I'm gonna take this for whatever it costs for the rest of my life.
The NFC Championship game. What's crazy is 3 weeks before we lost to Tampa, right? I caught the ball in the middle of the field, about 30 yards going in, and Garrett Hartley missed the field goal. Okay, so crazy thing, this is how God worked for me. I caught the ball in the same spot in the NFC Championship.
Oh, how about that?
And then Garrett makes this field goal. But I never seen a coach a player like Coach Payton had coached him on the sideline for that play. He basically told him you was made for this moment. Like he pimped him into making that field goal. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because if he was nervous or scared, he wasn't nervous or scared after he had that conversation with Coach. Wow. Like Coach gave him all the confidence in the world that he was gonna make that kick.
Wow. Now look at this. So people don't know the power of a field goal kicker or special teams units. They're very powerful individuals. They're different beasts. I mean, their department is always open, and they can always cash in any time. I actually got a guy, Craig the Leg Peterson, the ring that kick. That dude can kick from one end to the other without issues. Now, granted, that's not as large as an NFL field, but that department, I mean, talk about pressure. Nailing down the last seconds.
Yeah, they have all the pressure on them because you haven't done nothing all game long, and now you got to go make a 50-yard field goal to win the game. You know,
one job.
And
it sounds easy.
Yeah, and then because they don't practice with us as much, so they be doing their own little thing. Like when I was in San Diego, sometimes they would go play golf during training camp and then come back. And it's like, man, how y'all gonna go play golf? But then when they get in the game, they did their job. So it was like, to each his own.
And think about it. I mean, special teams kickers, not kickers, punters, anyone in the special team, even the long snapper, they all have a duty that attributes to that field goal being successful. I mean, one little botched hair on the ball goes wrong, that ball can get botched, either or.
I was just fortunate enough to play with good punters. Even in college, I had the Colquitt brothers, Dustin Colquitt and his brother, his younger brother. And then when I got to league, I had Morstead. He's with the Jets now, but they was like secret weapons. If you tell them to pin somebody in the corner of the on the 10-yard line, they're gonna pin them in that corner. So that was another weapon that I think fans don't really pay attention to, about how good a special team player can actually be, how they can change a game. Like I would say Devin Hester. We was told not to kick it to him. Like Dante Hall and all them. You're not supposed to kick it to those guys.
No.
Like no. I don't care what, kick it out of bounds, kick it. The coach is like, I don't care. Do not kick them the ball, whatever you do. But playing with Morstead, like he would punt them the ball, but he would put them in a situation to where they couldn't get out of it. Like he'll put them right in the corner of right on the right side, or however it would be, or the left side of the field. He put them in the corner and they couldn't get out of it.
Wow. That's enough said. Within the special teams unit, you heard that from Meachem. Special teams can pinch you in the corner. They could. They're lethal. They're very valuable in the game, especially if your offense can't get anything going. Special teams can make or break things in a pinch because a game can turn around that quick. You see people punt returns happen more often now because they got more rules in place to kind of pinch the actual special teams unit back.
I hope they don't never take off a kickoff return though. I hope they don't, because I feel like they're about to take it out, and That's gonna hurt a lot of players trying to go to the NFL because some of their specialties are return specialists, and that's gonna take away from that game. So it'll be even
Yep,
harder to get in the NFL for some guys if they take that
oh,
away.
for sure. I hope they don't. I mean, I think with the not saying the XFL makes any difference, but they're colliding with the USFL right now, potentially coming the NFL G League. I'm going to give them their title where it is before anybody else say it, but that's coming a monster, and they got a different alternate route of how they do special teams. I like it, but I don't like it because it's just like, man, I'm 10 yards in front of me as a dude, and we got to like smash together to figure out can he get past me before my guy comes screeching through like the Roadrunner.
And that is something that's going to be very, very interesting to see if they can pull it off. Because if they pull it off, then clearly the NFL is going to probably take it and start
Oh
using
yeah.
it that way. Now, see what I mean? When we was at practice, you would see the special team coaches do that to guys apart.
Oh, there
So
you go.
that
You're fine.
to get them 10 yards apart, so that way they can get used to somebody being up on them real quick. Because some of the guys on special team are literally lightning fast, running down on a
Oh
kickoff.
yeah.
Okay, now we used to have a guy named Anthony Hargrove that played defensive line, right? Ran a 4.5, 4.6 in the 40. He's not that tall of a guy, but he's wide. His job was to bust up the wedge. When I tell you he took this job so serious, every week he got a bat, like for bringing the wood. Every week he took out somebody on these special teams. Every week. It wasn't a week that went by that he didn't take somebody out. So now they stopped the wedge. Now you can't have a 3-man wedge. Now you want to have a 2-man wedge.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It is what it is.
Imagine the guy
Went
coming
wrong.
down on you full speed and you haven't started running yet.
Oh man. Oh no.
and then
You're
he's
roadkill.
and then he's lightweight crazy. So you got to keep your head on the swivel. But he will hit you so hard. They come cart you off.
They will. They will. They'll happily not happily, but
You're
they'll
right.
bring
They
out.
happily come on, cart you off. Come on, next man up.
Look, but that closes that segment with not only special teams, but look, Meach, we're gonna get right into it. What the viewers, when I first announced you're coming on last week, a lot of people were like, "What, Meachem? The Robert Meachem?" I'm like, no, the kid Robert Meachem. What do you think? It's the Robert Meachem from the Saints. Yeah, it's him. They're like, you know him? Yeah, I know him.
I'm just a
Look,
normal
I'm like,
cat.
but talking about this, I'm going to give you a breakdown here, and I got a series of questions for you.
Okay.
Super Bowl 44, Sun Life
Mhm.
Stadium in Florida. You lined up with Drew Brees, Reggie, a bunch of players, a host of potential greats. The
Mhm.
team was an electric team. You took a trip to the Super Bowl. On the other side of the markers, you played against Peyton Manning, Jeff Saturday, future Hall of Famers or potentially now Hall of Famers, and a host of others. As this Super Bowl was action packed, it was back and forth, and then guess what? The Saints broke away and probably around the fourth quarter. Around that time frame, it just started kind of greasing the wheel, and things got a little bit easier. But being a
Mhm.
player on the sideline, you're just like, man, football can take a turn for the worse in just a matter of minutes if your team doesn't do right.
Oh, we wasn't worried about losing that game. I'm gonna tell you when we won the game, and it's gonna mess your head up because people don't believe it. But we actually won the game on Monday.
Ah,
We went to Club Live, okay, because it's your day off, really. And then the coach was on the other side, and Will Smith, may he rest in peace. Not the actor, the football player.
mhm.
And then I think it was Jonathan Vilma and Charles Grant. They was all like light this up, and I mean buy bottles. So they bought the bottle, they bought the club out, and then they got to a point. You know what? Send them some bottles over there because they looking sad, they looking thirsty. And when they did that, it was like, okay, we won this game. We beat them in this atmosphere, so we can beat them on the field.
For sure.
I know it's
Sure
crazy
that.
to fans to think like that, but that's just how competitive we are when it's certain
And
things.
you know as I know. I mean, we've been a part of a team with the Rough Riders Arena, not to the pros. I've never been there. You've done
Yeah,
that only here,
yeah,
but
we
you
we
never
should have
let the
had a
other
championship
teams.
too with the
I
Rough
know. I
Riders.
would have
I don't want
two
to
of
talk
them,
about that.
man.
I don't want to talk
Look,
about it.
I don't even. We'll hold it to another day. But
Yeah,
I'll
I
let you
don't want
guys
to
know
talk
that's how
about
me
it.
and Meachem met. But
Man,
I,
I don't want to talk about that.
look,
I
it
could have
still
won
makes
on.
me scratch my head.
I could have won on 2 levels, man. I don't even want to talk about
You could have had the Kurt Warner effect where
it.
you got your rings in the arena and you had a ring in
And
the
yep,
pros.
I sure could have.
God, look, we can only think of the history there. But that was a great game. I was fortunate enough to be both back to back. So winning one on the goal line and then losing like that, you thought you scratch your head. I'm going. I watched them celebrate because I was like, this will never happen to me again if I get back into the coaching or in the side of sports again. Like, we're not
I,
doing that again.
I
That's
think
not
we
gonna
both.
happen.
I think we both watched them celebrate, and I was just like, in my heart, I'm like, I can't do this.
No, it hurt. It hurt. But look, I'm going to give you this. So the Coliseum, folks, well, where we played in Richmond at the Richmond Coliseum, that's now boarded up due to political conversation. Meacham will have that conversation another day. That medal sitting in the middle of Richmond is not even a park. It's not even nothing. It's like a walking dead scene. Yeah, hopefully the next term can change it. But look, back into the Super Bowl conversation. So that action-packed game, like you said, you won on Monday. Y'all knew it. It was done deal for you guys. The other
Mm-hmm.
team had already put out the white flag and waved it and said, "We're done."
Well,
Yeah,
see,
go celebrate on
they
your own.
didn't know that they was in a competition that night in the club. They didn't know that. And see, all week and for the last 2 weeks, because at the NFC Championship, you don't play for another 2 weeks. And so all week long, we just kept hearing about, Peyton and the Colts. Peyton and the Colts. They gonna beat us. The Saints shouldn't even be here. The Saints got lucky. It should have been Brett Favre and the Vikings. And you heard that for 2 weeks. After a while, you get tired of hearing foolishness.
Your blood now. You go for blood. You're just like a lonely wolf in the woods. Like, I gotta get this. So whatever it is, I gotta get it because now you done picked with me. Who the hell is Peyton Manning? Not saying that I love Peyton Manning, but it's
I mean,
just at that point you're like,
I know Peyton from volunteer days, so he wasn't my quarterback, but he used to come back and throw to us.
ah,
So when he used to come back in the summer, you catch one of his balls, everybody was like, "Oh, I caught $1 million ball today." You'd be so excited to catch a ball from him. Like, okay, yeah. If I catch balls to here, I know I can catch anybody in the league's ball.
look, you said that. Look, I have to give shots out to my pops is actually a Vikings fan. When you said Vikings in the comments, I'm seeing he got "Let's Go Vikings" and he's been a diehard since the Moss days, even further than that. So he's probably giving you hell to pay at home while watching the podcast. But
I'm
look, and
sorry.
look,
I'm
I got to
sorry,
even
pops. We had to beat your Vikings, but it's a
look.
winner and a loser.
And look, on top of that, Mom Dukes, she's a Commander fan.
Oh
Oh, when I
wow!
told
So
her
I did.
about the Redskins,
I didn't told her. I didn't told her Redskins up for a while.
oh yeah,
I had
forever.
some of my greatest games against the Redskins. But tell Mom, don't be mad.
Look, I will definitely let them know. But they are definitely they are very locked into this show, and that's why I give them kudos because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. But
True
in the
story.
meantime, look at this. So between deep passes, you had the Colts going down the field. Potentially, y'all had kind of sealed the deal up in the fourth quarter. But what we would have seen in the standpoint of football, they were on their goal line. Peyton Manning and the boys, y'all's defense locked and defended the land. And if
Mm-hmm.
that potential touchdown would have happened, it would have been a potential onside kick. Now, only history could project what have happened on the onside kick because you see sometimes the onside kick can trip and go in the air. Sometimes it can go right into the defense's hands. You never know.
Well, Sean walked in at halftime and was like, he just walked in and said, "Make me right." We already knew everybody knew what he meant when he said that because we knew he was supposed to call an onside kick. He said, "Make me right," and
Wow.
Chris Reese was able to pick the onside kick up at the beginning of the half, and it was like, all we gotta do is score now. Now they got this is something that they wasn't used to doing, like trailing.
Wow.
And so we
Wow.
knew once we got the ball, we scored a touchdown. It's over with.
Yeah. Yeah. Without a doubt. I mean, you kind of broke that away right there. I mean, it wasn't to the fourth quarter, like you said. You saw that, and then the Colts get that last gasp of air with 5 minutes to go. They couldn't. That window closed.
In watching film study, I trained Wyatt Harris. He had taught Tracy Porter a secret that Peyton Manning would do. He told him if it's third and short, and it means short for the fans, would be like third down and 3 to 6, 7 yards that you have to get. He said he's going to throw a blind 9-yard route to Reggie Wayne. He didn't even want to look at him. He's going to throw it. And so Tracy, if you remember in the game, I don't know if you remember, but he got tackled the first time he got the interception from Reggie. But on the second time when he returned it, got the pick six, he took a different angle. And that's why he got the pick six, so Reggie couldn't even grab him. Reggie didn't even know he was going to break. So Tracy had already looked at Sharper and told him, make me right. Basically, without saying it, just make me right. Because if he do a double move, he gonna get me. But I'm gonna break on it regardless. And Tracy broke on it, and Tracy sealed the deal.
From that point, the defense sealed it in, and then not only that. So moments away, I'm gonna show you this clip. It's gonna be a little lengthy, folks, but the viewers that's on audio, it's a view of Super Bowl 44 and Drew Brees taking the final kneel. But for my audio and visual viewers, you'll see this. Stand by.
And he kept the Colts offense off the field.
Mr. Benson, their owner since 1985 in his 25th year, the one who hired Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton and signed Drew Brees. Brees was one that could have been playing here as his home stadium, but the Dolphins, you know what, they just cast too much doubt. They were too suspicious that his shoulder wasn't going to heal, and Brees didn't like the attitude and the vibe. He said, New Orleans wanted me.
Yeah, that's right. They wanted him. Sean Payton said, come down here. I will let you help me design this offense. I'd say it worked out pretty well in 4 years.
A franchise that was born 8 months after the first Super Bowl game. They struggled for years. They have been the full embodiment of their community. A sign of hope.
So, again, Meachem, before I give it to you, that moment, I mean, look, I'm going to give it to you, but that moment probably took a lifetime during the game. But Drew Brees, the legend, the Hall of Famer, now retired and in the booth, he knelt as 44 probably felt like an hour. And he ended the game there. Super Bowl 44, you captured your first league championship in franchise history. And not only that, you did it for a state of Louisiana that had went through one of the worst natural disasters years before. And, I mean, it rocked the country seeing that happen. And now you claim the championship. How does that feel? Like, I mean, I'm goosebumps all over again that Super Bowl 44, you get to just watch a QB walk away.
Once again, you know, God working mysterious ways, and he blessed me with another dream come true. You know, that's one of the ones you in your backyard playing with your friends, and like, we in the Super Bowl and we playing, you catching passes or you running the ball or you making tackles. And just to see my mom and my dad's face after the game. You know, my dad is a man of little words. But for him just to say he was proud of me at that moment was like a dream come true. As a kid, you know, yeah, I'm grown, but you know, when your father still tell you he proud of you, it was different. It hit different. For the city of New Orleans, we made sure that it really wasn't no violent deaths for at least a month or two. You know, I'm talking about when enemies saw enemies, they didn't beef with each other, they hugged each other. You didn't realize how powerful a game really was until we actually got to see it with our own two eyes. We saved a lot of people's lives during that time period just because of, like I said, people being enemies but be turning into friends. When you show Bourbon Street when we won, man, like we always kept saying that we wish we was in New Orleans when we won, just because of how crowded Bourbon Street was, and everybody was dancing, singing. And New Orleans is a party city, so we rocked it.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I mean, that night after the Super Bowl, me and my brothers from other mothers, some of them came in town, so we all hung out. But we all kept saying, man, we just can't wait to get back to New Orleans. And when we got back, when we touched down, it was funny because Coach Payton was like, listen, for all you guys, do not let your windows down.
Oh, goodness.
So we get to the airport and we touch down. He's like, do not let your windows down. Just blow the horn and keep going. We had over like 5,000 and 8,000 fans out there.
Wow.
How about one person let their window down? So we were stuck in traffic for about 3 hours. But it wasn't in traffic you stuck in, you miserable, you mad or whatever. It was the happiest moments of your life. Like, I really wish my brothers from high school, I wish they could have experienced that with me. Like, I wish they could have just been in the car just to see it, just to enjoy that. And then the other sad part about it, though, was we should have won the next 2 years anyway. We should have had 2 more rings. We had a better team than we did in 09.
Oh man, look, that's how it happens. Like you get that one, and then everybody gets kind of comfortable because they were like, "Oh,
well,
we got that one."
We wasn't comfortable. It just got to the fact that we played against Seattle, and that's when Marshawn had beast mode. That's when he had that. That's when he had. Now, if you saw us in the regular season, we beat them 34-17. So in our mind, it's like they cannot beat us.
Yeah.
But when when the game got close, it got colder in Seattle. Their 12-man got even louder.
Goodness.
and then he broke out the beast mode run. It's like, well, damn. It's over with.
Nothing else you can do. It's nothing else you can do. That man was a beast.
But we had him, but everybody was trying to strip him instead of just tackling him. And it's your mindset as a player. We got to get the ball back for the offense, and that's all it was. They were just trying to get the ball back, but that was another one. They got away with it. They got away from us too.
Look, you get the good memories. You get the Cinderella story, and then you got to deal with the others that happens behind it. But the best is you brought a championship back to a city, or not even a city, a state that just went through pure hell.
Well, they needed that. Well, they needed that,
yes.
And not being from the north side of Tulsa, Oklahoma, you don't experience that. Like a city really needing a team to heal their wounds.
Yes.
And we actually healed their wounds for a moment. Now, I ain't gonna say, we kept it from, kept them from hurting because there was a lot of people that didn't get to see that. Because there was a lot of diehard fans, they used to wear bags over their heads. So still, it was so many diehard fans, and then there was so many people that may have died in Katrina, and their family members was just like, wow, if they just would have got to see this, if they would have just got to see this, I mean, you dealt with that a lot, like when you see certain people, like my dad was a diehard, or my mother was a diehard, auntie or somebody, and they show you a picture of them, and you like, wow, okay, they whole house is Saints, so they were diehard fans.
Look, my heart still goes up to that state, regardless of how long it's been, because that was just horrible. I mean, I wish none like that on anyone, and I think that warmed the whole United States up seeing you guys win. Like if nobody else, you can love any team, but even if you were a Colts fan that night,
I think, like you said,
you may have had a little energy, like, oh, my team got beat up.
Yeah, I think even the Colts fans at that moment was okay with letting us, well, not letting them, but with us winning. I think they were okay with that because, like you said, New Orleans had went through hell and back, and for us to give them that piece of hope and a piece of winning, it's like now we somebody again as a city.
For sure. Yes, indeed. And so you went on. Look, not only that, you captured that Super Bowl, you completed that 5-year stretch, and you had over 2,000 yards receiving, 23 touchdowns, 6 playoff games with 14 receptions, over almost 200 yards receiving, and 1 touchdown in the playoffs. And now that you charged up with the Chargers, and you went through that phase with them, and you regrouped back at home with the Saints, and then you finished out there. And look, I eventually got the opportunity to meet you. You played some arena. And look, I share this story. Many people go, do you know Meachem? Like everybody knows somebody. Like, you know how you hit that, oh, I know him. And then
Yeah.
they're like, do you really know him? And look, I got to share the story with you folks. So you probably like, how the hell did they meet? Like, how did the guy that's way down there go to the guy in the state of Virginia? But we followed up. We saw each other. We met when he came and signed with the Richmond Rough Riders, which eventually we had went to take a hit and fell short in the fourth quarter to the Atlanta Havoc. But I remember talking to Meach as, it was like a childhood dream for me. Like, look, I'm a 25-year-old, and I'm like, this is Robert Meachem. Not only to say I just met Greg Hardy as well, and I'm like, this is an NFL champion. Like, you don't run across this and just get to like walk up to this dude and go, hey, what's up? Like, you don't get that. Like, but you were down to a person, not like one of the other guys is like, oh, I've been there, done that, and I don't need to talk to anybody because I'm bigger than life. But
I mean,
remember that conversation we
I was
had.
I was raised differently. You never bigger than the next person. Because you don't know who you need at any given time. Somebody can always help you. You can always learn something new. And for you to be arrogant or cocky, when you fall, half of those people that you was being cocky around or whatever, they still going up the ladder while you falling.
For sure.
Hopefully they reach out and catch you to help you understand who you once was. Like, don't forget who you are. And a lot of people, they make a lot of money. Sometimes they get caught up and they forget who they are. I just understand that it's a blessing for people to even know you, or the people even like you, or to want to be around you.
Yes, indeed. And look, we talked, and I recall telling Meachem this several years ago, hey, I'm going to bring you on my podcast. He probably was like, who's this kid and why is he talking to me? But in the same sense, it happened years later. And I made sure that you were like, legitly, you're the first athlete that I brought onto the show. So you're the first guy you broke not only history here, but you helping us out.
You said that. So
coming out.
You spoke it into existence years ago. So it's here.
Yes. Look, I got a few more questions for you before I let the people go, because I know football is about to show and go on. And we may save some of the conversation for another day too. So we're going to definitely have you back. But I got to look. I'm going to give you 30 seconds on this one.
Okay.
Debate that whistled across the league, receiver wise, and no, it's probably players all across the NFL. The conversation for you: grass, the actual good stuff, or do you want turf? Like, what do you look at when you're an athlete on the field? Because we look at it from like, oh man, he should have stepped high instead of low, or this or that or sudden. But I mean, if to an athlete, you're like, man, this is total different material.
Oh yeah, it's on turf you're faster. We all say that, it's just different. It's like at first back in the day it was like carpet, you was running on carpet, but now it's like actual turf with beads in it. But grass, you have cleats on where your cleats kind of stick in the grass a little bit, so it's you have to pick your feet up a little bit more. But I mean, I'm pretty much either way. I like them both. I know most quarterbacks like to be on grass. Because it's easy for, like Lamar, it's easy for him to break you off on grass. And like if he had you on turf, yeah, he's gonna outrun you. But if you got a good angle, you might catch him. But on grass, if you got an angle, he might outrun your angle.
Look, I always figure that out because you see players with injury purposes, like Aaron Rodgers. He went out with that injury right in the first couple of plays.
That's just a freak injury. Your Achilles get stretched out like that. I mean, quarterbacks get tackled like that all the time, or players get pulled down like that. That's just my opinion. I can't say it was a turf or it was a grass fault. I just feel like on turf now, don't get me wrong, if your foot gets stuck like in the turf, like it won't move. Like, see, with the grass, it's kind of gonna slide a little bit, give you a little bit of that. But with that turf, I think when it caught him at a crazy angle, and that's what popped his
Uh,
Achilles.
oh yeah, that was. I'm a Packers fan, and not like everyone's like,
Oh,
well,
man,
what do you think about this? I mean, I love Rodgers
I
regardless.
love Aaron Rodgers. Like I would have loved to play with Aaron. Don't get me wrong, I love playing with Drew and Phillip, but I would have loved to play with Aaron because he just do stuff just effortlessly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Joe Barrows and Josh Allen and like how my homie flicks the ball. That's just Aaron. All them is a product
Yeah.
of Aaron to me.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Look,
And
I'm
Aaron
aligned. Two more questions.
and Aaron
You're
just,
on.
to me,
Go ahead.
Aaron to me is just a product of Joe Montana.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Now, look, I would ask you this question. We'll save
Go
it for another
ahead.
time. No, look, I'm gonna
Go
go with it.
ahead.
So my co-host, he didn't come on tonight, but he shot me like a pigeon carrier with a message, and he was like, "Ask this." So I'm like, "All right,
Okay,
I'll
what
ask you
is it?
this." So as you see, your former head coach Sean Payton right now at the head
Mm-hmm.
of the table
You
in
better get
Denver.
him. You better get him now. Like
Better get him now.
Dion said, you better get him now because you know Sean sat out a whole year, so he rusty.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But you better get him now. Now, what was your question though on that?
Look, well, what do you see or think or believe is the like lack of success? Not on him, but I mean, he's coming into an inherited team, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not much changing he could have did so quickly under his regime.
Mm-hmm. What do I think he should change, or what do I think is
Well,
going to
yes,
happen?
either or. Like, what changing and what you think's going to happen? I mean,
Well, see,
eventually this team's
he
going to
had
go
to
through.
learn Russell. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Sean is that guy that he tried to figure out what pushes your buttons. And see, Russell is a guy that don't show emotion. So it's probably driving Coach Payton nuts because he can't get him to show emotion.
uh,
You see what I'm saying? Then with the offensive line, you know, everything starts with the offensive line and defensive line. I think they gotta put some special guys in those places,
oh yeah,
especially the blind side. You know, on the tackles. I think they should put guys right there, better blockers for him. And I think, I mean, it's the outside looking in. You know, I don't know Russell or anything like that, but I think they need to do more team bonding, like with him and his skill
oh yeah,
guys.
for
And I
sure.
think that would help them out a whole lot. Because, I mean, we did stuff with Drew, but I knew one thing. On Friday nights, Drew was taking that offensive line to dinner.
Wow,
Get what you want. You know, eat
wow.
what you want. So they're going to take care of you feeding them now. You
Oh, for
know,
sure.
I'm just saying, Russell, if you listen to this anywhere, you take that offensive line out, they will protect you if you feed them. Just saying.
Just give the man some food. You ain't got to buy him a porch. Just give him
Nah,
some
he don't
lobster
need
and
he don't
a
want no
steak.
Porsche. He don't want no Rolex. He want a good old fashioned porterhouse steak, ribeye, bone in ribeye. You know, he want one of them big daddies.
Yeah, that's all you got to get. You give me one of those. Like, I got you. It's still courtesy.
Once a week. Oh, I'm good. For 6+ weeks, I'm good. You give me one of them porterhouse steaks, I'm good.
I like to hear that. That's funny to hear, but I know it. I feel it because yeah, been there and done that, and I know definitely that conversation. You're like, man, the team takes care of the quarterback, but you curve the Sonic, and you're like, you're done. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
They don't want no
No
Route
harm on
44.
Sonic. I love you guys.
They don't want no Route 44, cherry lemon slush. They want a real meal. Lobster, steak, shrimp, something. They want a real meal.
Something. Look, two more for you, and we'll wrap it up. Now, this one's a more shorter. I have some youth football teams looking at this. I have probably kids sitting in their living room with mom and pop, and they're watching, or maybe grandma and grandpa. I have families across. I mean, we're literally viewed in Europe. We got some viewers from over across seas, but mostly here in the homeland. And what's a gold nugget of advice that you would give if it's an athlete or if it's an individual that don't even want to take the athletic route? What's a nugget that you would give that people are watching right
Um, I would tell them to stop listening to that whisper. They're telling you can't do something. That whisper that's trying to knock you off or deter you or distract you from whatever your goal is that you want to do. Like you said, you might not want to be an athlete. You might want to be a doctor, a contractor, or a firefighter, whatever. Whatever your goals are, stick to your goals and keep fighting. Don't, even though you go through a little bit of adversity, that's a part of it. Just keep fighting. And when you come out on the other side, you're going to be so grateful and thankful that you didn't cheat yourself. You know, you didn't cheat it by taking a shortcut on trying to get out of doing the hard part of it. Because everybody see the glamour and the glitter, but they don't know what you had to do to get there.
For sure. For sure. Look, now my last and final question. The golden answers here is probably what I'm looking for. But last but not least, look, you've been fantastic tonight. It's been an honor having you. But now, look, we need another co-host. Damn it, I've been looking for a guy now, or a contributor. I'm not saying you come on every week, but you could bring some friends by and stop by and say hello. I mean, look, you could call this home.
I mean, that's something we could talk about. You know, we could see if they can work in the schedule. Me getting back on. You know what I'm saying? Be able to ask other players questions that you might not think to ask. So, you know, we could talk about that.
Look, I'll get in touch with your agent. But I'll talk to your guy. My people will talk to your people. Look, that's how I'm going to leave it there. But
well, you know, you ain't got to talk to my people. You can talk to me. You can call me.
I got you.
Anytime. But I thank you for having me, Coach, for real.
I got you. Now look at this. So that's a wrap. Again, Meachem, we greatly appreciate, extremely grateful, even from Meachem, my co-host is somewhere in Trinidad right now. But hey, guys, it's been a blast.
Nice.
Hey, individuals. I know, right?
Tell them to send us a picture, man. We need a picture, man. We need some nice views.
Cam, you hear that? You hear that, Cam? I'll reach out to him. He'll be in contact.
Somebody find Cam for us, please. Where's the real Cam? Please stand up.
Somebody, anybody, pigeon carrier. But look, as always, folks, it's been a pleasure. Meachem, it's good having you and talking to you. Look, we enjoy. Well, thank you for entertaining the guys through the devices. I'm saying so long tonight, Meachem. Look,
have a good blessed night, man.
Yes. So, hey guys, thank you as always. That's all it for tonight. You have not only the Saints and Chargers playing. No, Saints and Jags playing tonight. Yeah, Meachem, I already know where you're going.
Yeah, we better tune in. Who that?
Yes.
Who that nation stand up, baby? Who that nation stand up, baby?
Look, we're going to see. Thank you all for tonight. And from your host and cast of Goode Gotcha Entertainment, I'm saying so long, good night, and I'll see you next Thursday. Peace, guys.